And today we're talking about social media. It turns out it's more than just a place to post pictures to garner a lot of likes. It's actually a marketing tool for businesses and people like you and me to actually boost our brands. Jessica Zweig is an expert on building brands online. She's the CEO of Simply Be, an agency that provides customized branding, marketing, and creative services. And she has a new book that just came out yesterday. It is appropriately called Be, a no BS guide to increasing your self-worth and net worth by simply being yourself. She joins us live this morning. Good morning, Jessica. I want to get right into this because you really talk about this in great detail in your book. But how important is it, or why is it important for us to be boosting our brands, whatever that brand may be, on social media?
Well, I say this often, that social media is no longer just social media. It's the internet, and everyone is on it, or at least most people. And you have to be proactive today to own your narrative, share your value, tell a clear and consistent story about why you're the expert or why someone should hire you or refer you or be a part of your network, right? And we can do that really authentically today on social media. And many people are either all over the place and not really maximizing social media, or they're not showing up at all. And I call it a huge opportunity loss by really not taking advantage of this tremendous tool we have to market who we are, not just what we do.
And I would fall into that category of not using it enough or at all, really, because, the classified ads are gone. And I think from personal experience, when I'm going to interview someone, for example, or if I'm looking, to research something, what I do now is the first thing I do is I go on Instagram, which I don't think I would have done 3 years ago. But explain to us about the do's and the don'ts for building your brand on social media. When someone like me is like, oh, person X, let me see what their Instagram page looks like.
Yeah, so you really want to, I often say consistency. So show up all the time, like you don't just every day, but 3 to 4 times a week. Constancy. So choose your channels. I think LinkedIn and Instagram are the most powerful channels today to build a professional personal brand. And clarity. I call it the 3 C's: consistency, constancy, and clarity. And really create a clarified message of who you are and stick to the script. So in my book, I actually have a bunch of frameworks that will help you really decide what are the 3 to 4 cornerstone pillars that you can own. Because here's the secret. You are who you say you are over and over and over again. That's it. Get online, share your value, and I will tell you the phone will ring in your direction when you do that with value. I started my whole business based on a blogging series that I created where I just talked about personal branding and why I loved it and why people needed it. And then people started to call me and they were like, you're that girl that talks about this thing all the time. I think I can work with you. That's how it happened. And so I really want to empower people with this work, that it's not that complicated. You just have to be clear, consistent, and constant.
I love that. Clear, consistent, constant. Those were the do's. What about the don'ts? That you say, don't let your brand live or die on social media. What does that mean?
Oh, I love this question. So everyone is obsessed with social media, but it is a conduit, right? We don't own social media. Jack Dorsey, Evan Spiegel, Mark Zuckerberg do, right? What do we own? We own our IP. We own our own intellectual property of our life experience, our work experience. And so create content. You don't have to overthink it, but write a blog, start a video series, create a podcast, send out a weekly email. I call that pinnacle content. So you want to really zoom up and think about where can you showcase the depth of your expertise and your humanity, and then use social media to drip it out and to create connection with a community that exists there, of course. But we have to ladder it up because thought leaders think. That's why they're called thought leaders, right? And so we really want to position ourselves as thought leaders and not just social media influencers. That's not really what I think the people listening are here to do. So that's when I say, don't just live and die on social.
And to that point, because you talk a lot about authenticity in your book, and you also brought up influencers, which I think have their own kind of niche. And when I think about authenticity, I find sometimes people share way too much that I don't want to know. So when you're building your brand, you're building your business, you're trying to build up this persona that you are while being authentic. How do you do that with sharing just enough?
I love this question. So I often say that the internet is not a place to process, right? So we are not intended to emote and cathartically share all the things that are going on in our thoughts on a daily basis. We really want to add value, right? And so it's important to think about, what are the pieces of my life that make me a human, right? What are the pieces of my life that really open up the aperture of why you'd want to work with me, because I'm a likable person. Maybe that's your passion for your family. Maybe that's your passion for your travel or cooking or your faith, right? But it's not about drama, and really pairing those human elements with your professional story make you, in my view, authentic. But you do not owe the world your life in a glass case on the internet, and you certainly shouldn't share everything. It's a bad look when people do that.
Jessica, thank you so much for sharing your insights. Her new book, B, is out now. You can always check it out and check out Jessica's website listed below. And if you're interested in picking up a copy of your book, for her book, for yourself, Jessica, thank you so much for your insight. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.